use as an acronym for connecting into humans, earth, animals, life. We're all one spirit. So as we share, this is really a time when we put it into the grand perspective of where we are, and it's been referenced by a number of names. But we have moved in by what the Maya called a new sun, a new grand cycle, and it is a time of unity consciousness. The Maya referenced the time to be Sekbe, which is the white road, white being the white light, which is the culmination and the full integration of all frequencies, all vibrations. If we take that down to what it looks like in our daily lives, it is walking together in unity, finding the harmony of all of our traditions, of all of our beliefs, knowing that the core truth of all is we are all the same spirit, the same energy, the same source. In that respect, hearing about the animal totems, we heard also about going out the trees, feeling the pulses, being with the earth. We are all the same. We've also heard she doesn't need us. We need her. All of the children, all of the ancestors that came before. Humans are the last world that were created in most all the creation stories. We had the elements that existed in harmony. And from that, then, the minerals, the crystals, the stones came first, the earth. And because they had the minerals, plants could grow. They could gather their nutrients, bring up the different elements and the minerals to that. When the plants were flourishing, animals could move and be created. They had food. They took the wisdom of those minerals and those nutrients into their very being and embodied that. And it was only after they were thriving that we as humans were created. It's our time now, because we've also been given free will and free choice to decide now in this time of unity consciousness. We have come through, but we're still in the transition, because it is now by our planting the seeds of not only of our intentions, but then by putting the actions to them, that we create this age of peace, this age of unconditional love, this age of unity. So in this, that little tagline of mine meant an awful lot. It was generated from a time when I went to Egypt, which started this whole last phase, because I'm going to keep this going. But the transition into actively living my life, supporting, healing, and unifying of all of ourselves within our health and well-being, not only among us humans, but with the animals, the plants, the earth, sharing back, helping to rebalance that which we have thrown out of balance through the ages of choices we have made. When I was in Egypt, or prior to that time, and I was researching it, one of their stories is of Osiris and Isis. Osiris, just to make it brief and not get into the storytelling, but Osiris had been dismembered by his brother. We have the two brothers, that's a very typical thing, twins. Osiris was dismembered. Isis, as the mother goddess figure in that story, gathered the pieces together, revitalized, and made whole, brought life back to Osiris, and then the two of them brought creation together. So the female and the male created Horus, who was the sky, their son, to literally then give life to the humans to continue. So the idea of remembering, I find it very important, because if I take it at one of the levels of meaning, a lot of people are having problems with memory these days. Why? Memory isn't just about the brain and its logical functions. Very often we find that we forget because there's a feeling of separation or something that has separated us from our consciousness, which in a momentary could be somebody going through surgery, getting anesthesia. We're not going to remember some of the stuff. That can be a gift. Having been in surgeries, it can be a real gift. But the real thinking about that word remembering is more about the remembering, which is what Isis did when she brought all the parts of Osiris that had been distributed all over the world. In the time that we're living, stresses pull us apart. Our attention gets fragmented. We have become very boastful, actually, about how well we multitask. Thank you. I love that. That is exactly the response I give it. All we're doing is actually pulling apart our attention, and very often we lack a presence in any one of those moments. And one of the things that was stressed on my Vision Quest a number of years ago, and it also went along with my 2-year-old concept of heaven and hell, which is we will have all of the time in eternity to accomplish that which has meaning, purpose, and passion for us. And there will never be enough time to get things done. Mm-hmm. When I feel stressed, I'm getting fragmented. I'm having pieces of me going out of obligation, out of my perception of what I need to be paying attention to. The remembering is a choice. Pulling my attention back. Pulling also maybe parts of myself that I've hidden away. Or from maybe being a kid, got scared because people didn't know what to do with me when I came up with what was termed the precocious child. The gifts of seeing, of understanding, like really knowing and sensing what was going on, even though nobody else saw that. How many of us may not have felt like we really belonged? And we gave parts of ourselves away, maybe to keep them safe, or some may have taken them from us, depending upon some of our experiences. In the moment when we are present, we have the choice to call them all back. We are living in a time of unity, unifying all parts of ourselves. For those who believe in the various timelines and past lives, maybe healing some of that and bringing and calling them forward as is appropriate for us to live now. It may be where some of our power has been left in either parts of this life or parts of other lifetimes. Part of remembering is also embodying, inviting in the ancestor, the animal totems. Everything has wisdom. We are infinity. And if we stop and think about that, everything that occurs, everything we feel, is part of who we are, because we are infinity. We get the choice to say where we're going to set that focus. What do we choose to experience? Things are going to happen, but I don't know about you guys, but I have a sister, and we're like 180 degrees difference. So, growing up, the family stories, we had very, very, very different interpretations of them. She may not have even remembered them, and I might have felt like they were the most impactful experience. Or I might not remember somebody else, and she found meaning in it. Experiences occur as we choose to awaken, to be aware, and to own who we are. We place the meaning on those experiences. When we open to the wisdom, that too is called healing, to be able to look at perhaps past issues that we choose to heal. The word forgiving and forgiveness was brought up. To me, I think of it as a situation for giving love. It's not me saying I know better than, or you hurt me, because my feelings are mine. I have to own them. Nobody can do it unless I allow that power to be had. So how can I bring love into a situation? It doesn't necessarily mean I condone the behavior or will allow it to continue. What it does say is I can love you and see that you are also God expressing and there is purpose. If there is harmful intent or if there's something that just doesn't feel right, I bless you. Your blue of the puzzle piece maybe belongs to the sky and my blue belongs to the lake, and we are not supposed to fit together, but we may look similar, but we have different places right now that we're walking or where we fit in this universal picture. So when we're thinking about the remembering, think about all parts of ourselves where we're going to be having a journey. And we're going to be working on some of this. So I want to be able to have you think about either a portion of yourself or a gift or perhaps a wisdom of yourself that a crystal might be expressing to you, or an animal or a plant, a tree. That too is a part of who you are, for again, we're infinity. We can own the connection of all who we are. We can own that connection that there is only one, yet because in the physical world, which our souls chose to come and have this experience of duality, we each have a unique contribution for the unified purpose of spirit in physical form. When we choose to stay present in who we are, in our true nature, in our authentic self, whatever we want to call that, we get to express spirit, God, that is the one, through this unique focus. If you think of a large crystal, it would be where each different facets through which light can travel. Each one is necessary to the whole, yet each one is expressing its own perspective, its own position. So when we think about that, start thinking about, is it something that maybe a gift that's lying dormant or that you put aside because it just wasn't the right time? Or for me, I know one of the things I haven't truly owned again or claimed again is music, piano. I was very well trained. It was a passion, made me so vulnerable. It was a very great place that I ended up taking a whole different route of playing it safe to protect myself. So I walked away from a lot of my music. It's something, and thank you for hearing again today, the resonance, the vibration just opens the heart and heals more than anything else. All things began through sound, through vibration, through energy set into frequency. So beyond words, when we get to the words, we're starting to limit and separate things. It has its place, but nothing is permanent or solid. Let's think of them as indicators rather than identifiers. And in order to reclaim all parts of ourselves, we need to tell the stories of our wholeness, not the woundedness, not the separateness, not the fears. What's our healed state? Who are we in our true nature in this magnificent being that we all are? And what's that story? Let's come together and tell that and sing that and move that and bring it into full creation. It comes from the thought, very subtle vibration, to the word, bringing it more into the physical plane, into the deed it manifests. It's bringing the energy down through our energy bodies to manifest on earth. What our heart desires, what our true nature knows, who we really are, our heart knows, that then is what we can express. Our heart, I work in a lot of the healthcare area, and I've been really privileged to have surgeons and doctors in some of my classes and being able to go into surgeries. So I've had to learn some of the scientific research to have them understand that, in fact, science is just a measure of spirit. There's nothing at odds between the two of them. And we are now, in our intelligence and our inventiveness, creating machines that we can measure it. I don't need to know if the wind's blow. I mean, I can know the wind's blowing without having something telling me how many miles per hour. You know, other people might say, no, that's not a wind, that's just a breeze, okay, but the air's moving. You know, where do we need to go with that? The idea with that, though, our heart's electromagnetic field is 10,000 times stronger than the EMF, the electromagnetic field around the brain. Upon conception, it was not the first brain wave, it was the first heartbeat. Upon being freed from our physical bodies, it will not be the last brain wave that determines, well, I know there's controversy. There is no controversy over when the heart has stopped beating. We are then freed, our spirit's freed from the body. It is the heart. That's where the intelligence lies. That's where the wisdom is. That's how we connect. So remembering all parts of ourselves, what part is ready to be owned by you again or awakened again? Or it may be a part that is, again, an animal totem that comes to you in a meditation that's bringing a certain power, a certain wisdom that is being shared for the next phase of your walk on your journey here. But it's not enough, if you do jigsaw puzzles, it's not enough to have all of the pieces. You have to connect them. When we think about that for ourselves, the connection is with unconditional love, the vital life force, the breath of life. We've already worked with focusing on our breath. We're talking about also some of the mother energy because of Mother's Day, Mother Earth. The mother energy was the first, we think of it as Mother Earth, but there's the cosmic mother that without creating the cosmic womb, having a sort of definition, no creation could have come forward, no matter how much vital life force is out there. It's got to be condensed somewhere. There's got to be a container for that. So it's a circle. It's a spiral. It's the embracing. It's the stillness. When we were going through with the sound healing, as much as the vibrations were so powerful for me, it was the pause, the silence before the next segment began again. It's in the silence, it's in the rest that we listen, that we open. In our society, there's not a whole lot of silence any longer. We've made a holiday around December that was supposed to have been a very quiet, still time of the winter solstice. It was supposed to be that silence where all things look dormant, seemingly are, but there's a very potent life force that's going on and vitality. But then we added artificial lights, we add songs, we add horns, we add, oh, now you have to have gifts, you have to do this. And it's the time where there's a natural rest. Winter is a time of rest. It's that pause between the breaths of the seasons. When we think of the feminine with the capital F, in which, regardless of our genders, it's about balancing the masculine and feminine within each one of ourselves. And as we do it, we then influence the area, the environment around us. There is another little tidbit of research, and another part of me that loves math. There was research that was done that they did figure out the equation that when there are a group of people, or a certain number of people, or a certain intention that is held, it will influence a relational amount of people's behaviors. The research was done using, at that time, because some of us, it was our youth, transcendental meditation was just really becoming popular in this country, and it had a very good specific procedure or protocol that could be followed, so that they, who were doing the research, used this. And they got a certain amount of people together to focus through transcendental meditation on, and the two remarkable studies was in the Middle East, holding the intention of peace to occur, and a different one was in Washington, D.C., with holding the intention that violent crimes would diminish. They didn't even say how much. They found out through the studies, they were very successful, both of them. Truce broke out in the Middle East. And in Washington, D.C., violent crimes actually went down to 0% during the time of the study. Now we begin to say, and why did we stop the study? Anyway, we're having lots of natural disasters. Energy follows thought. Where are our thoughts going? Intention is a conscious thought. Can we see that? See the hurricanes? Can we put the intention of peace there and hold that center of peace? We're now offering the healed state to that situation, that wholeness of love. Unconditional love to me is like the white light that we talked about. It is the totality of all vibration, because it's unconditional, so it's infinite. So all vibration is present. If there's something occurring here in a natural disaster, for instance, holding a certain vibration, its remedy or healing vibration will be present if we offer love, forgiving love. If we offer it worry, horror, they're the vibrations we're feeding it. So what do we want to, when we talk about awakening, when we talk about awareness, when we talk about compassion, we really are saying, what do we want to offer it? If I want to become healthier, the likelihood of my body becoming healthier by eating only junk food, thank you, the cookies are good. It's minimized. It doesn't say it can't happen, because actually it's not just about food for our bodies, but I'm making it more difficult. If I really love, why do I want to make it difficult? Our true nature, truth, is simple. It doesn't mean it's easy. If we find we're complicating something, we're disconnecting from it. We're justifying it. In order to reconnect, where's the flow? Where's that sense of alignment with it? If we feel uncomfortable, it's part of our knowing. If the more discomfort we feel, the more out of alignment we are with our true nature. Too often, if we are even subconsciously choosing an experience that has been taught to us, or we have perceived, well, that's the best this life has to offer, or we've heard it in church that if you want to be spiritual, you have to be poor. If we buy into other beliefs that may not be aligned with our own true nature, we're going to feel very uncomfortable. We're going to have imbalances in our well-being. We need to say when we're ready, because we'll have every opportunity. The universe is abundant. We will have every opportunity to say, I come back into alignment with my true nature. We will have all the support we need. It may not be from family. It may not be from our best friends. It may be a cardinal singing out your window first thing in the morning and you see this vibrant red flash. If that's meaningful to you, it is to me. How can there be anything but a smile? As soon as the smile's there, it's uplifted. Just a small step. Where's the relief? If I want to be happy in my life, then I choose it. And I will be aware. I will open my eyes. That will be my intention. To see things that support and edify my true joy. As an integrative healing practitioner and minister, my choice is to hold that center of peace to be shared so people will literally, when I'm working to support their health, when I'm sharing with them, they will have the opportunity to remember and see spirit through me. I am not asking about their diseases. I have gone through numerous surgeries with people supporting their health, and many times did not know until we were getting into surgery the extent of, in this case, for the most part, I worked with people who were experiencing cancer. I never talked about their cancer. I talked about them. What's their passion? What brings them joy? In this moment, what allows you to remember who you are? So remembering all parts of ourselves in our daily lives, telling the story of our healed state. Who are we as expressions of spirit? And to connect with it, bringing the breath of life into it, being the tree, allowing our breath to go down the roots into the heart of the earth, into that living core of who she is, and feeling the pulsing, and like the tree, not only bringing it up and spouting it out, but remember, it has to circulate within us. Our breath doesn't just come in and out. Our breath comes and then circulates. When we are given a gift of life, do we let it? Do we take it in? What about the person who gives you a compliment? Hey, you really look good today. Oh, thanks. What, I look like a slob every other day? Or, oh, thank you that you're being nice. How about saying thank you? One of the best pieces of wisdom a friend told me was, she was great. She said, just say thank you and shut up. Okay. Do we take it in? Do we allow it to circulate before we put it back out and think we have to share it? Again, working with a lot of people supporting their healing, now I got it. And I'm going to go out into this, I'm going to help them, and yet their healing has not yet finished, and their focus now is off and running, and they may need to find a part of the healing is, how do I live this wisdom now in my daily life now? Everything that came from this experience. Animals can help us. They open up a place of our hearts that really houses, and in there, I think, my experience, that's where unconditional love resides. Not all people touch that part in me. Animals, every single one of them has. And I work to keep my heart open to that place, and I thank the animals for that gift so that I can share it with people as well. So thinking about that, how will you, in going into a journey, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but from a native perspective, journeying is when you literally, you leave and you travel to different kingdoms. We're going to go, for those of you who do journey, we're going to go into the earth Mother. just a very practical thing. A few inches below the surface, if we connect barefooted, because most of our soles on our shoes are rubber, and that insulates us from the electromagnetic currents of the earth that actually heal us. So yes, we've been very disconnected from the earth. Very often gardening ends up being done with gloves. Unless they're all natural, we're not getting in contact. So the earth actually does heal us. Indigenous cultures have known through the years, you dig a little pit, put the sick person in, work with the spirits of the plants and animals, and allow the earth to heal. We're going to go into the earth. We're going to ask for some wisdom that she may have for us. Perhaps a part of ourselves that's ready to be called home, back into our heart to be awakened and enlivened. Perhaps to an ancestor animal that is wanting to come and share with us their power so that we can walk the next step. Power to love, perhaps. Power to sing. Power and courage to express joy, even if the rest of the family looks grumpy that day. We don't have to look like everybody else. And we'll go within her, and then we'll breathe in that healing. And we'll take some time to offer something of ourselves back to her and any of the children that have come to us during that time of a journey or meditation. I'll guide you in it. But if you journey on your own, or if you meditate, or you need to go someplace that, my voice will fall back. This is not about being the good person and following the guidance. This is about you following your heart, going where you need to go in this moment of time. To commune with Spirit in all of its wonderful forms that are appropriate for you now. You don't have to meet the entire universe. It will overwhelm us if we do. We're going for the ones that can help us right now and that we can share back and share part of our love with them. For those who are willing, these are crystals, because we were talking about how do we live it in our daily lives. Literally, we can create touchstones. It is a stone and you can keep it in your pocket. If you don't want to use it but you would like to journey with it but not keep it, I'll ask that you just return it. At the end, if you want to take it with you, that's really the purpose, and I think we have plenty here. You can hold it while you're doing it. Remember, and I'll tell you in a second about the stone, but crystals are the living cells of the earth. She is already sharing with us. She will, not only through the vibration and wisdom that is residing in this stone, but she will also receive in the vibration of the messages, the wisdom, the awareness that you receive during this quiet time, and continue then to share it back out with you as you carry it and work with it. And if nothing else, it's a great reminder if you put it someplace where you see it. It's like, oh yeah, let me reacquaint with that part of myself. As I pass them around, and again, if you don't want them, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. It is lepidolite. I want to tell you this because having also been an accountant as well as other things in this life, full disclosure here, I find that Spirit working in compassion will let you know, they always let you know what's involved up front. You don't have to go in just blind faith. Lepidolite is a crystal that is used for safe journeying. It has lithium in it, so it's very much a good balancer. So if you're not used to taking quiet time, or I sometimes have people that are afraid because that stillness can be frightening sometimes if you're not sure whether you really are ready for that next big step. This can help balance. It balances moods. It helps balance within the physical body as well, hormonal flow, feelings, and so on. So it also connects with the purple ray, for those of you who think about that. So through the crown chakra, it's connecting with the divine and bringing down if you see fluorescent, the piece that you get, it's also mica, so it's the strength of the sun. And the reflection that this daily life can offer you to embody the wisdom that is seen in those reflections. Okay, so as we're doing that, I've asked if we can still have music during the journey. I'll start with a little bit of drumming, but then I'm going to let them take it because I think they know they will. It's the same energy. These two are how I knew my guardians when I was 2 years old, and my spirit name is White Eagle. More to the story, but that's enough.
Right.
That's another time.
That's another time.
It's a whole sentence.
Go off to the side. Actually, no, that is Norse. The symbol that I use, my business is never-ending paths. I think you're finding out maybe there's a significance in that name. But it actually came from the death cart of a shaman woman that was the most complete find from the Oslo Fjord. And I happened to have visited and lived there. And it was a photograph I took with a 110 camera, if any of you are old enough to remember 110 cameras. And I used that for my logo, so that's Norse had it as well as the Celts. Every culture has something that embodies the eternal. So, okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to guide a little bit. I am going to ask if you know your guardians, that you will be calling them to you. If you don't, you do have a guardian, call the one or the ones that you feel comfortable. You may know it as an animal, you may know it just as a feel, but you are going to call the one who is walking with you in this lifetime, who is your spirit guardian. It could be guardian angel, as you know, it may be different terms.
Ascended masters?
It could be whoever is significant for you. Okay? And we will talk and go into the earth, so I will guide you through, beginning with a little bit of focusing on your breath. Guide you into a place, either a cave, a waterfall, the roots of a tree, down into the earth herself, and then allow the one that you're traveling with, your guardian, to take you to a place where you can be receptive to the wisdom that your heart has now attracted in just by being here today. Just by saying, yes, I am awake. Yes, I am aware. And I'm ready to activate my heart's purpose. Okay? So just getting comfortable. If you feel, closing your eyes, bringing a breath down through you, feel it going through your body, similar to this morning, all the way, or whenever, this down through your body, down your legs, down into the earth, to the heart of Mother Earth. And exhaling when it's comfortable. And bringing in another breath. Feel it coming into your body, going up, out through your crown, up through and into the sun, through the sun and into the cosmic womb of the universe. And bringing it back down. And breathing now. Breathe in both directions, bringing from the heart of the earth, the heart of the sky, inhaling that into your heart, letting it circulate, feed you, nurture you, and exhaling back your gratitude, your love, distractions and stress are neutralized. And bringing another breath into your body. Feel it circulating the breath of life into every cell, nurturing, feeding from the earth, the sky, the heart of all that is, bringing it, supporting your soul fire, brighter, more brilliant, more expansive, warming, feeding, brighter and brighter, larger into the sun, becoming one with the sun, the fire of spirit, purifying, enlivening, rejoicing, calling your guardian, and ready to visit and sit and listen to the heart, to the story of the mother. And go, feel, find the cave, the waterfall, the fountain, the tree. Go, find the journey. Go to that place where you reside. In and with Mother Earth. Now go. Asking her, seeing her, what love is here for you. What joy, what compassion. What part of you is ready to come to your heart, to home, to love. Wisdom. What is your story? Your heart's story. Feel the pulse. Welcome that part of you, that wisdom of the mother of one of her children that is being shared. Open your arms Embrace it. Claim it. Share in the heart. The elements with it. The waters of life, flowing, purifying, strong, bubbling, laughing. The beginning of life, the end of life. The grandmother ocean, powerful, rhythmic. The connection that flows. Feel the earth, her wisdom in every stone, crystal, vibrating. Wisdom open in the key of remembrance. The air. Breathe the breath of life. Breathe it together as one. The ancestors, those who come before, those who come after, with us in this moment. Eternal now. And the fire. Dancing. Enlivening, in balance, all the elements, synchronistically dancing, moving in harmony, in balance, enlivening this wisdom, this part of yourself, connecting, integrating, and melding it all as one in your heart, being oneness. The crystal is listening, is sharing, is receiving. It will help you remember who you truly are. In the midst of this life, in the midst of this time, we are here in power of love to unify, to heal, to make whole, to dance, to be in balance, to be one. Offer something of your love to the earth, to those ancestors who may have shown, to the wisdom who is coming with you, giving thanks, coming back with your guardian to the sun, purifying spirit fire, allowing you to see, to awaken in awareness, bringing into consciousness this wisdom as you now come back, beginning to feel the breath in your body, fully aligning, fully aware, in gratitude, joy, and love. Feel your body, feel the breath, all the way to your feet, feet on the floor, as you open your eyes, letting the music weave this wonderful gift into the very cells of your being. And awakening the heart, the earth, the heart of the sky is one in your heart, and you and we are one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.